minutes away for the final heat. 19 sleds in the field, in groups ordered by rank. So the leaders after run 1, 2, 3 will be the final sleds for the fourth and final heat.
Final run of the IBSF Bobsleigh and Skeleton World Championships here in Lake Placid, New York. We're in the Adirondack Mountains for the last heat of the women's bobsleigh, the final event of this 25th World Championships. Welcome back, everybody, as we see our 19 sleds go down in reverse order to decide the final finishing order of the last event of the competition. Martin Haven and Riley Teček back with you. And Riley, the Germans dominating the podium here. Lisa Buchwitz the reigning world champion in a potential bronze medal position.
She's a solid driver. She won last year. She's been doing really well overall throughout the season, winning globes in all of the months. It knows how to win, and this German team is so competitive with Germany 1, 2, and 3. That speaks to their dominance, not only on the women's side, but on the men's side. They have the best equipment. They start at a younger age, and they are showing their skill set here on a non-familiar track for a lot of them.
And it's no accident either. The reigning world champion is third. Last year, the 23 world champion is second, and the 22 Olympic champions are the leaders. So there is no shortage of talent on our leaderboard.
It's like they pass it around a little bit. Laura won the Olympics, and then she passes to the next one, they pass the next one. It's like they're just cycling it.
It's an interesting theory, but yeah, I think she will be determined to win this one. She hasn't yet won the Bobsleigh World Championships, and she definitely feels that her time has come. She claimed her first ever monobob win in North America, and she may well claim her first ever World Championship gold here in North America too. Lauren Alter, Deborah Levy lead from Kim Kilicki and Leonie Fiebig, with Lisa Bukvitz and Kira Lipperheider in third place. And 19 sleds have completed the 3 runs so far. They will go in reverse order of their current standing. So Thailand will be first away. You heard me right. Thailand and Chinese Taipei joining the field this season for the World Championships. Well, Mel Hasler out there with Andrea Grecu, warming up in temperatures that have dropped a little. There's a little bit of cloud cover. The ice is -2 degrees, and the reference runner in the shade at the top, 23.5. That is a hot. Normally, the reference runner is round about 2 or 3 degrees above ice temperature. So yeah, that means that the runners are sitting there in very balmy conditions. Not quite warming up in budgie smugglers like the Australian team. If you haven't seen it, you'll find it on social media, I'm sure, without too much trouble. But it is very warm for warming up. Okay, so in reverse order then of their current standings, Thailand go off first, followed by Chinese Taipei, Great Britain, Korea, Australia, Canada, and on down to the final half dozen sleds. 3 from the USA and 3 from Germany. And there's been a lot of movement in the US camp, but the Germans have been locked in, so we'll see exactly what happens. Lots of friends and family from various different nations watching down there. Lots of US support, of course, trackside. Lake Placid itself is just a 15-minute drive from Mount Van Hovenberg, and bobsledding, it's been a very big part of this sport's history for the better part of a century. 95 years they've been sliding down this mountain. Fourth and final heat of the IBSF Women's Bobsleigh World Championships, the first ever for Thailand. Agnese Campiol, the driver, Paitong Wanakot, the brakewoman. Campiol, a youth Olympian and still very young, still in the infancy of her driving career. So to come here among the big stars and take on this demanding Lake Placid track has been a big boost to her confidence.
Really great adjustment there getting in. She had a little bit of trouble in Heat 3 getting in. She fixed that. That's what we want to see. And really nice, smooth, quiet up top. A little bit of a slower start for her with a 6:01 getaway compared to her other ones. Again, we might just see that the ice is just giving out a little bit at the top.
Yeah, only 300 or 400s between her fastest and that start, so it's still showing they've got pace at the start. And she's driven, I think, really nicely now. I'm sure the coaches have given her not the absolute fattest, fastest runners, because confidence at this stage is so important. You don't learn anything upside down.
Really great chicane, and that's what you want. You just want to be able to put it together. And it's like anything, next level, next level, next level. But don't give someone too much more than they can bite off here. Yeah. It's Lake Placid. This is still one of the toughest tracks in the world. It's very technical. Great run for her right here. It is slower significantly, but again, I'm telling you, that's the ice. I just went down it. It has gotten a lot slower. Great run for her, though. She even cleaned up her bottom coming up at the end of the track. I was talking to her about it in the car going up. Hey, what are you doing here? And she goes, oh man, we would talk about corner 19 and 20, and I'm like, oh, that's an uphill section. So overall, much better for her. Still little mistakes here, but for this young driver, her first Worlds, she's 19th in the world, bringing that home to Thailand.
There you go.
Absolutely incredible.
First ever Thai appearance in the World Championships this year from the men, and and from the women, and such a tiny team, just a half dozen athletes. They've been helping each other out at the top and at the bottom, and loving life and bringing a whole new flavour, as has the team from Chinese Taipei. Lin Xin-rong, the driver, Yang Yuji in the back of the sled, and this pair in 18th place overall. Now, there are 19 sleds in the heat, but we started with 22 in the field, so they are not the only sleds that are competing. Some have not made it through to this stage, and some withdrew before the start. Just even being in the World Championships is a massive start to their careers for the Chinese Taipei athletes.
588, about 500 slower. Again, that's what we saw with a sled prior. That could just be the track. She had a little bit of trouble getting in, though. It just wasn't as smooth and clean, but she was able to get it back on and is having a really clean top half so far right now.
Yeah, and again, the ice is not absolutely hard as marble, so it's a little bit more control for the drivers. And that's got to build confidence as well.
Absolutely, and it actually leaves you feeling pretty good. And the brakeman. Lake Placid is really tough with your transitions like you were talking about. There's not really straightaways. There's not really time to like reset by any means. So when you're able to have a smooth run, your brakeman is so thankful. There's no headache. Amazing chicane right there. Shot that. She's going to be really, really pleased with that. Overall, good last run of the season so far for Lin.
Yeah, really nice stuff. And her first World Championships in women's bobsleigh comes to a conclusion. She'll be 18th in the world there at your Thai team.
Oh, they're so happy to be here. We love it. And really, there wasn't much of a competition with Lin and the Agnes behind her. But it's about getting down quickly, building on your run, and just being excited to be here and enjoy this moment. I hope these ladies, as they're coming off, take in their first Worlds, take in the fans and the excitement, and knowing that they did it, they finished upright, 18th in the world. Like, come on, that doesn't suck.
And first time out as well in the World Championships. You know, these are marks in the sand from Thailand and Chinese Taipei. They are showing up for the very first time. And it's the creation, perhaps, who knows where this goes now for each of these two not very winter-related nations, it has to be said. Now, slightly more winter-related, although our winters in Great Britain are normally just wet. Great Britain's Adele Nicol and Ashley Nelson. Ashley coming into the team, 4x100 metre sprinter. She's the Commonwealth champion. And joining Adele Nicol on the sled. And Adele's sled crashed in the two-man race quite heavily and basically super-glued back together. So, talking to her this morning, she's saying, just feel like I'm really underperforming because the sled's not quite how it should be, but they're getting in and having fun in the final runs of the season. You don't want to leave the track feeling down.
No, I was just talking to them. These are two incredible athletes that are super competitive, really hard on themselves because they know what it looks like to win, and they have won in not only the sport of bobsled, but in their other sports prior. Adele is a phenomenal driver. She's holding it down for Great Britain. She had a really good Heat 3, having an even better Heat 4 so far. This is building her confidence, what she wants to feel going into the end of the season.
And she doesn't need to be judging herself on 17th place here in the world. She was the silver medalist in the World Cup on this track in March last year. So we know, and she knows, that she can get down in a heck of a hurry against the best in the world. Top speed at the moment, 1.67 up over Lin of Chinese Taipei.
Phenomenal run for her. Two great runs on the last day in World. She's going to be super pleased with this. You can build from this, carrying on to next season. Chinese Taipei girls right there. Good thumbs up. Thank you. Adele, we'll see you in the leaders box. Great job. Great world champs. Take this away.
Graham Richardson and Sean Olsen helping out. Brave woman leaping over the wall to help the track workers. And Adele's mum just there on the hoardings as well, just where they finished.
Look at these girls just giving everything they got, leaving it on the ice. Really great getting in. You see even Adele's ducking her head a little bit there, coming back up. That's confidence out of a driver right there. She is a great driver. Don't let this positioning fool you. She will come back next year with vengeance, and she's going to have a phenomenal season. Yeah,
they've got a very spirited team. One driver, three push athletes, all vying for more speed. So Adele Nicol down and done.
Yeah, great job, ladies.
Yeah, there's Ash Nelson as well. First season in bobsleigh completed. Next up for Korea, Kim Yoran with Jeon Yooniji behind her. And she had a handy advantage over 8/10 over Adele Nicol, but doesn't really get in quite as quick as maybe she might. And again, about 500 slower than their first heat, 586 to 581.
So if you're not familiar with this sport, that push bar actually gets collapsed by the driver. So that's why you saw it up a little bit longer. The driver has to get in, tap a little lever, which drops the bar, and then grab the D-rings completely. So if you struggle to get in, you're a little bit late on that, and you don't want that push bar out going into curve 1 because that could go against the ice and kill your time.
Well, there you've got to decide about, am I going to steer or hit the push bar button again? Sometimes it doesn't come in the first time you hit it either. So
been there, done that.
Yeah, exactly.
Great chicane, #1 speed for Uran Kim, looking really nice through this run.
8/10 up. She was 7/10 up at the start, out to 9/10. So this is another good-looking run from the Korean driver. 58.44, 2200s added to her lead.
Yeah, really great World Championships for her. There was one mistake there at the end on the uphill section out of 19 that we haven't really seen from her so far. Again, sometimes after you get through corner 18, you kind of breathe a little bit on this track. Corner 19 and 20, because they're uphill, we don't really see sleds crash. Doesn't mean it's not impossible. But you can kind of just let yourself go a little bit. Here, coming out of curve 3, just that little bit of a skid that knocked her a little bit over. That's going to hurt her time. Coming out of 7 with a little bit of a head whip, but overall gets it nice on track. Here's what in the uphill section, she just hits a little bit there and throws her over. That's uphill. That costs at least a 10th right there. But overall, great job. She maintains her position, finishes world champs nicely.
All right, next up, Australia's Brianna Walker and Kira Rodingius. And again, like Adele Nicol and Ash Nelson from Great Britain, a long way out of where you would expect to see them. Was so ill last week, she really still isn't quite sure how she managed to push and drive a monobob. And now still feeling very much under the weather, both girls, but still out here competing.
I will tell you this, the Australian program is full of resilience. They get knocked down and they get back up every single time, and they continue to show up every single time the sport can give it their all.
Well, there's a big expression in Australia, the Aussie battler, and that's exactly what they are. The men got back after crashing the first heat of the 4-man, went again yesterday, so they didn't leave the track after a disappointment. Unfortunately had another crash, but they are still ready to go into the summer break for next year. And that will be the same for Brianna Walker and Kira Rodingius.
Yeah, she won't be too proud of overall her outcome, but she should be proud of her driving. She's putting together a really nice run here so far and doing it feeling terrible. Now, she's had a phenomenal season all year. She's shown up, especially in monobob, and absolutely dominating that field. She's going to have a nice summer break and going to get back to training straight away and give a run for the games. Yeah,
a couple of days lying in bed going first, but then she's, yeah, again, like Adele Nicol, fighting against adversity and not being able to really show quite what speed she has got in the sled, but a good summer of recovery. She'll be ready to go into the Olympic season. 58.13 downtime. So that is the fastest of the sleds down so far. Hasn't been the World Championships that she wanted, but better this year than next.
Absolutely. And again, she's finishing. Look at them. She's like a little princess riding on, but happy, had a great job. Now, it's still not over for them because the sled in front of them, Bianca Ribby, is only ahead by 0.02 of a second. So there is movement. There is something to celebrate, being in the leader's box, moving up a place, getting that back. Overall, really nice run for Brie right now. She is a phenomenal driver. Again, do not count this athlete out where she's finishing. She is a phenomenal driver, an absolute winner, and will have great success next year.
Yeah. Right now, they're probably not feeling phenomenal, but it's done. They made it through all 4 heats, and you're absolutely right. Just a couple of hundreds in front. Bianca Ribby and Niamh Hockey of Canada. So this is a real battle for position, and there are several separated by just a few hundreds. 5:61 getaway, 700s quicker, so that is an important addition to the start.
And faster than what they pushed in Heat 3. And I don't think we're going to see very many people improve on the start. So that's awesome. I was talking to the brakewoman, Niamh. I said, give it everything you've got. Leave it all out there. It's hard to be feeling good and discouraged when you're at the back of the pack, but there's still something to prove. There's still places to move up, and there's still that self-improvement that you're seeking all the time.
Well, there were 900s up at the start, but they're losing speed to Brianna Walker. Out to 1500s in the red.
Let's see if she can nail it back, reel it back. She's moving up, creeping in the order, back to number 2. A little bit of trouble in the chicane there. That's not going to help her speed.
Yeah, 4th best speed. Now, she's not going to drop too far back, but she will be behind Brianna Walker at the line. I know Bree's mum and dad watching from home in Australia. Nearly said the N-word there, New Zealand, but home in Australia, they will be delighted to see Bree looking a little bit less unhealthy and picking up a spot as well. So tough break for Bianca Ribby and Niamh Hockey. They dropped back by 3/10.
Both of their families here, I know they're going to get out of the sled, sing that too, be a little bit disappointed, but overall they did a great job. Improved on the start, a little bit of driver errors here and there, a little bit of bumps. It just takes all the speed out. The chicane's what really hurt them right here. Having that hit that wasn't a parallel double bug hit and just sitting them not with the speed that they want entering that last uphill portion of the track. But overall, amazing job for Ribby and her brakemen. I know their families here. Big hug. Get ready for next year, ladies.
Yep. Next year is even bigger. Now for France, Margot Bock and Carla Seneschal. A quarter of a second in hand over Brianna Walker. On a lot of tracks, that's a big lead. On this one, it's not. It's a couple of errors. It's a really sloppy chicane. Actually can take a quarter of a second out of the sled. They won't start quite as quick as the Aussies either. If they can get into the 60s, they'll be doing okay for themselves.
64.
Whoa, that's astonishing. 63 yesterday, a 70 this morning, and now a 64.
That's incredible for them. And not to mention, this is the athlete that had her visor pop off between 7 and 8 yesterday, having to go down the whole track without a visor on. That is not what you want, folks.
No, she was half blind, wasn't she? So 13th fastest in Heat 1, 15th fastest in Heat 2. Losing visibility, dropped her a couple of spots back. She was 13th quickest in Heat 3. And she lies in 13th place after those 3 heats. So can she stay ahead of Bree Walker? It looks like she will do.
Driving really well. That chicane was beautiful. Margot knows how to drive. They always drive better than their start position. She's having a really awesome, nice, clean run. Visor is intact. We love to see it. Crossing the finish line, head up, and remained in that spot. Great job, Margot.
So 57.91, all of her 4 runs in the 57s. So she's the first to dip below the 58s in this 4th and final heat.
No worse than 13th place for her. There's still some momentum. She could maybe move to 12th. It's just under 0.2 of a second. Again, in Placid, anything can happen.
Yeah.
This is where she lost her visor yesterday, so she was able to hang on to it, which is nice. A really good transition here. You see the brakeman not really moving too much because that was a really nice transition. And here through the chicane was absolute money. She shot that really, really nicely. Just that little bit of a hit, which doesn't really take too much out of the sled. Great job for these ladies.
Loving the gloves as well.
Yeah.
Got to have a bit of leopard print, bit of cowbell. Next up, cowbell perhaps for Switzerland's Deborah Annan and Mara Morel. Well, great to see the championship have branded cowbells here as well. It's always a good time. 11th, 13th and 12th, her 3 runs so far. And as you say, just about a quarter of a second in front of Margot Bock. So she does need to make this one count as well. Nothing here is a given.
Let's see what their start time is. They are pretty strong starters here within this field.
65. So that's actually their slowest so far, but only a couple of hundredths off the first one today.
But 100 slower than Margot. So already given her a little bit off her lead, but she is a really great driver, a young driver, but one that's learning very, very quickly.
17 hundredths ahead as they sat down. It's down to 11 hundredths, only the 5th best speed.
Oh, it's going to be close.
Adele Nickel was quickest up top, and Margot Bock quickest at the next speed trap.
She's fallen behind now, Margot. A little bit of high out of 12, causing her to hit out of 13. That's going to continue to suck some speed out of the sled. Can she make any up in chicane? A little bit of a hit there. 5th fastest speed. I think Margot's going to get her. Yeah,
Margot Bock had the speed at the bottom. And it looks as though Deborah Annan is going to slip back a place. Don't think she'll drop into the clutches of Brianna Walker.
She did.
She did. By 300, she dropped 2 spots.
Oh, my goodness. And this is what we just talked about before she went. In Lake Placid, anything can happen. Some of these mistakes out of 12 through the chicane, especially on soft ice, will make you drop down drastically in your speed and your time. Wow. That is actually the slowest speed we've seen from a driver that has come down so far. This is her mistake out of 12. She was high, it threw her into the wall. And here on chicane, she hits, and then she hits again. And the way she's hitting, you can see it just taking a lot out of it. There's various degrees of hitting. There's, oh, as pilots, I'm like, oh, we only tapped. And your brakeman's like, no, we hit. Yeah. So there's different types, which is going to take different amounts out of the sled. You tapped. You popped my hip behind. All right, so our leader is still Margot Bock of France, and a slightly bigger advantage for Canada's Cynthia Peer and Skylar Sieben. Skylar, the ex-University of Arizona hurdler and heptathlete, joining the team this year. And a 5:58 getaway. Nice. So that is their second quickest of the competition. And that's what you want to see on your last one. Give it everything you have. Finish one. Skid there. Again, as in the first heat this afternoon, she had a big skid there, 2 to 3. Repeats the error. Which is why she only has a third fastest speed, even with a really strong start. 4,500s up on Margot Bock as she sat down. What's it going to be at the next clock? How much has she lost? Nothing. Number 1 fastest speed. There we go. A little bit of a tap there out of 10. Gets it under control nicely. Good 12-13 transition for Cynthia. Similar sled to Bock, a BTC sled built in Latvia. Really nice chicane. Fastest speed right there. Yep, she's going to maintain, hold on. And again, the girl in front of her is her teammate Melissa for Canada. And there is always that rivalry in your own country to be that number 1 sled. Yeah, she's going to need a massive run. 57.83 might be it. Yeah, there's her teammates there supporting her. I do want to give a quick shout out to every alternate, spare, everyone for the women's side that has taken runs for athletes but didn't get a chance to perform, with some of the athletes that are watching from home, Sarah Blizzard and more. We are so thankful for everything that you guys do for us. These athletes wouldn't be here competing without the spares getting in and taking reps. Everyone's a part of this. Absolutely, and the WISE teams cycle their athletes through, get them all race experience, keep them motivated, keep them fit. Resting some. And look at the sticker that she has on her sled. Yeah. Right on the nose there, a young Wolfgang Stampfer. I know Caddy Vile is responsible for printing all those off. She said she printed 100 and passing those out, so she's proud of that. And Cynthia, look, she is celebrating this, guys. She may not have gotten number 1 in the competition, but she had a really great run and put something really great together. And teammate Melissa Lotte-Holtz with Leah Walkenden behind her in the top 10 after 3 heats. Despite an 11th fastest run in heat 3, that was her loose one. Let's see if she gets it back together. 5:58 equals their fastest start. Nice. I was going to say, that looked really smooth. They ran a perfect depth. They got in together, and it looked like really nice. So, of course, that ties their number 1 start. That was awesome for them. Yeah, and she got good velocity as well, but a little hard out of 3 into the wall. So that drops down to 4th best speed. And the athlete that's in front of her, Greco, is only ahead by 0.03 of a second. So everything she does here matters. Number 1 speed so far for Melissa, looking really nice as she enters the middle part of the track. Yeah, Melissa will be looking at moving up in the 10 rather than hanging on ahead of teammate Cynthia Peer. And she's 5,900s up as she comes through the chicane with top speed. Looking really nice here for Mel. She's going to give Greco something that she's got to have to throw down. He's going to be really pleased with this run, crossing the finish line. Canada won, which is awesome. Great speed, tied for the fastest start. They just pushed the same Melissa and Cynthia, which actually is extremely impressive because Cynthia normally in monobob does outpush her, so that speaks volumes to what the brakeman just did. Absolutely. And it is the combination of the two. You've got to get the timing right. You've got to have the same impetus and get in when you need to. So great job from Melissa Lotte-Holtz, Leah Walkenden. Yeah, here's that start. Running, looking really nice. Quick, nice entrance for Melissa. Leah getting in, looking quiet, ducking straight away. Get that push bar down. Flawless execution on the start. Overall, pretty good with that transition there. She can't be too mad about that run. I can't really tell you anything. She just laid down a lacer. That's everything that they had, and that's what you want to see. There you go. 10 down, 9 to go. The final run of the IBSF Women's Bobsleigh World Championships. Current leader is Melissa Lotte-Holtz of Canada, and just 300ths faster than her, 100th per heat, if you want to sum it up that way. Andrea Greco and Teodora Vlad of Romania. Former Canadian athlete Alex Klein at the back there. She's one of the alternates this season. Hasn't been able to get into the race team yet, but is continuing to push to do so. and screaming with everything she has right now for these ladies and for her teammates. She so badly wants Greco to enter this top 8. That's an accomplishment in and of itself. 5:56 getaway. These girls have been extremely consistent with their start. Everything's only within 200ths of each other. That's incredible. A little bit of a hit there, though, out of 2. That's going to cost them. And a skid coming out of 3.
Oh, that's not good. She's in the red, and she's 12 hundredths back. And that will grow because she's only the 8th fastest. It'll be 2/10 at the next clock. Now, the gap from first to second is 65 hundredths. So Greco should hang on in second place and still stay in the top 10.
Really nice run here, other than those mistakes. But again, once you make those mistakes at the top of the track, it's a kiss of death. Really good chicane, though. She's holding on to the 6th fastest speed. She is having a better portion of her driving coming here at the bottom half of the track, but sometimes it's just too late.
Ooh, 46 hundredths back. Cynthia Appiah 65 hundredths back. She should just be in front. Oh, 400s.
Oh, look at that. Look at that handshake. They did it in time with the camera. Great job, guys. Romania's not going to be too pleased with moving back, but overall a top 10 finish at Worlds for them.
Yeah.
It's just, as you can see, with this soft ice, you make a mistake, Martin, and look how much you can move back. So even for our leaders and these people now in the top 8, a lot of movement can happen between them.
Well, Greco was looking to move up to equal her best ever World Championship result as a driver, 8th in Altenburg 2021. It will be a top 10 finish, but it won't be a personal best.
There was that hit out of 2 that cost her a little bit. Again, any hit up there, you're just taking all that speed that you built up. We're not going, your fastest speed is not at corner 1, 2, and 3. So you're just preventing yourself from hitting that top speed sooner.
For Austria, Katy Bile, the sticker supplier. That's her coach, Wolfgang Stanford. That's what he looks like at the back now. Not in shot, that's Sasha Stepan. But she's got Christania Williams behind her, Jamaican Olympic medalist in 100 meters. A 5:46 getaway. They are really punching very strongly at the start, this crew. And Katy Bile, we know, drives the sled back. Got very sideways there.
Yeah, they're having incredible starts, and I know Katy is super, super pleased with it. Her brakeman is coming in clutch. That's what you want to see. Give me that caboose in the back, and I'll do the rest driving. But overall, that mistake coming out of 2 is going to hurt her a little bit, but she does have half a second lead still in the bag. That's what 3 heats does for you when you drive that well. Tough exit out of 12 there.
World Championship best, 4th place in Winterberg last year. She's not going to match that. Melissa Lotholz, by the way, the current leader before she disappears from the leader's box. Her World Championship best, 17th in Winterberg.
Oh, it's going to be close.
It is going to be close. She might not disappear.
She's dropped back already.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Wow. 58.24. Andrea Greco came down 58.26.
Wow.
But those errors early on, you can't come back from them. If you give away speed, it's like not accelerating off the line in a drag race. You're behind, you're going to stay behind.
But more now than ever, this was not the case last week when these athletes were driving on this track. If you make a mistake here because of how soft it is penalizing you drastically. For her to have half a second in the bank coming out of corner 12 and to lose it all with minimal mistakes on the track shows this track, and we might see a lot of movement because this track is not the one it was last week.
Exactly so. We've got 7 sleds to go. A big mistake like that, not great news. Disappointing for Katy Bile. Okay, 7 to go. Melanie Hassler for Switzerland with Muswama Kumbundi behind her. And Mel, 5th World Championships for her in women's bobsleigh. She was 4th place as well as her best ever result. That was in Samoritz 2023. Home track for her. A big red letter day.
Yeah, but an incredible athlete. She's always in the mix of the top 6. Oh, some issues getting in. Oh, no, oh, no.
Whoa. And she was only 100th ahead of Katy Bile, so if she has a disappointing run, she too might fall victim to Melissa Lotholz.
Yeah, that's going to hurt her. Even though you saw a 5:55 start, which is they're tied for their best, they've been extremely consistent. Having that struggle get in, I talked about it last heat with her push bar being out and just messing up a little bit. But I will tell you, as a pilot, when you make that mistake, you get in, your adrenaline's going, and normally you have one of your best drives. And she's having a pretty good drive so far after that.
But she's showing in second on the splits. Now she's back in front of Melissa Lotholz, but will only be by a few hundreds. This could be pretty tight. 3900s up, only the 5th best speed. Lottholz is fastest all the way to the finish line.
It's going to be close, but I think Melanie can hold it. 3:10. She should cross the finish line, at least a 10th in the bag.
We went that with Katie Bile, though, at the line. 2300, she holds on. 57.90.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I bet she thought that was all going away. And she was looking at a top 6 in front of her. It's a big stretch to catch any of the American sleds.
Look at her. She's like, ah.
Done.
She did it. She maintained no worse than 7th place in world. Here's what you'll see. So these athletes, you're running as hard and fast as you can on ice. Then you're locking and jumping in. And as she did, her foot clipped right there, throwing her foot around, trying to get in, holding onto the push bar. And then once they come out of the grooves, a little bit of sideways. But she did a great job pushing that push bar in straight away and getting her D-rings back.
Melissa Lottholz, the first to offer her congratulations.
A lot of these athletes are great friends.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Because the animosity doesn't exist that you get in contact racing. So the top 6 is USA and Germany. Alana Myers-Taylor was 3rd overnight, dropped to 6th position. Let's see what she can do here.
They're going to want a really strong start here. They're going to want to move up spots. They dropped back in the last heat. Let's see what they can do here.
I said 3rd, she was 4th overnight. 5:56 getaway, just 100th behind Melanie Hassler and Muswama Kumbundi.
But their slowest start so far, but fastest speed coming in with good velocity. Alana knows how to drive this track.
And she's 1400ths behind Kaylee Humphries, who is in 4th place. In between the two of them, Keisha Love, who'll be down next.
This is USA going after USA, right?
Yeah.
At top 6 is an amazing accomplishment at Worlds, but Alana wants to win. Alana and Lolo, #1 speed, looking really, really nice here. Her goal is to have the best run that she possibly can to give herself position to move up. Really nice run, amazing chicane, 2nd fastest speed though. Really great run by Alana. Nice transition there, 18-19. She's continuing to add more and more into the bank. Let's see what she crosses the finish line with.
57-54 run. Okay, that is her slowest so far, but in these conditions, perhaps not a surprise. Let's see if that is enough to move up Alana Myers-Taylor and Lolo Jones.
A lot of home crowd cheering them on. So proud of them ladies, representing the USA well. No worse than a top 6, which is great for Worlds.
Alana's husband, Nick Taylor, was here. He's been here with her 2 sons who've been on tour with her all season long.
Really great drive here. And for both of these ladies, Alana and Lolo have done so much. They've poured years into the sport of bobsled, giving back, especially Alana. She's someone who wants to uplift all the young athletes, bring everyone in, and teach them the sport because she truly loves it. Big smiles for both of them. She says, Nico and Noah, your mom loves you, through her hand. Mommy loves you.
And the experienced athletes are now helping with a buddy program, the junior athletes as well. So that's going a long way to helping the smaller nations. Now then, Keisha Love, the monobob world champion, with Jazz Jones behind her. 3rd fastest, 4th fastest, and 2nd fastest starts. 5th, 4th, and 6th fastest runs. She is the coming woman of US bobsled, no question about it.
Absolutely. And Jasmine with her, they are a very, very strong pairing. Let's see what they can do for this push.
Another mum of a young child, Jasmine Jones. Her daughter's here this weekend.
Yeah, Jade's awesome. 5:42 start, right around what they did in Heat 3, so only 100th off, which is really, really strong for them. Keisha now is in control, gonna have a really great drive here for her last run. Looking to move up if she can. Only 6th fastest speed though.
2100s over multiple Olympic and world champion, multiple Olympic medalist and world champion Alana Myers-Taylor. 1600s in hand.
Slipping back slightly, but Keisha knows how to drive. She just won not too long ago on this track.
Started driving after the 2022 Olympics.
Oh, it's gonna be close. Little taps here and there out of the chicane.
3rd best speed, but she's holding 1600ths of a lead over Alana Myers-Taylor.
1200ths of a second. It's going to be close across the finish line, but I think Keisha Love has it in the bag.
She should just have enough.
1/10 of a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alana and Lolo saying thank you. USA, Scheimer's not mad about that. No worse than 5th and 6th for the USA.
Yeah.
Keisha coming across, her family and Jazz. Everybody, great job. You see that big Jasmine Jones with her mom celebrating the Air Force as an athlete, and Keisha Love with all of her family giving her mom a massive hug. for this athlete to say, Keisha, within 2 years of driving on your home track, you're going to win world championships in mono, and you're going to get a top 5 finish in 2-woman, it's absolutely incredible.
Yep, no question at all. And she and Lisa Buchwitz both started driving after the last Olympic Games when they were brake women.
So impressive.
That's when they fully started learning to drive. And they've both been world champions within the Olympic quad. So for our 4-time world champion, Kaylee Humphrey, she's got Emily Renner behind her. She was the 2012 women's bobsleigh world champion here in Lake Placid. That was the second of her 4 titles.
Really nice load into the sled. Start time 5:56. They've been extremely consistent this whole time. Now, it's a battle between the U.S. because there's only 0.09 of a second that separates Kaylee and Keisha here.
Well, she had a baby in July, and now in March, she is starting the same as Alana Myers-Taylor with Lolo Jones. So that's a really impressive performance.
Absolutely incredible. Kaylee also knows she might be slightly deficient at the start, but she can drive, and that's what we're seeing right now. #1 speed for her so far. Now she's back in the green.
Well, she and Alana Myers-Taylor, the most experienced athletes in this World Championship field. They're both in their 12th bobsleigh worlds.
#1 speed, really nice chicane, 0.08 of a second. This is still going to be close at the finish line.
It's a tiny margin, but she is growing it. She will be the top US slider at the line. It's probably how you would have seeded them.
Oh, there's
57-34, there's Jade with Mum Jasmine.
Well, for the USA program, look at that. They're so excited. Kaylee getting no worse than 4th with Emily Renna behind her. The top USA sled, that's a victory in and of itself. Great job, ladies. I know Kaylee, like we've been talking about, has to overcome so much this season. And obviously you want to end on a good note on your home track, and she just did.
She sure has. 2-time Olympic champion in women's bobsleigh, a 4-time world champion in women's bobsleigh, and an Olympic monobob champion.
Looking back at this, great run. Very minimal mistakes out of Kaylee. This is the Kaylee Humphreys that we know. An incredible driver. Her and Emily celebrating. Great job to the 2 of them. Big happy smiles right there.
13 years ago, she was the world champion on this track, and she's still knocking it out of the park. 3 to go then from Germany. Lisa Buchwitz, the reigning world champion in women's bobsleigh. Won it in Winterberg last year, with Kira Lipperheider behind her. Final run of the competitive season for Lisa Buchwitz and Kira Lipperheider.
They've had the fastest start so far in all 3 heats. I have no doubt they'll do it again. 5:42, fastest so far that we've seen.
Well, Keisha Love and Jasmine Jones also a 5:42, so they are right in there with it.
Little hit out of 2 that will hurt them laying on the track. A little skid right there that we see out of 3. Nothing too big, but that's why their speed is only the 5th right now.
She had 6100s over Kaylee Humphreys over 3 heats. She's extending that now to nearly 0.8 of a second, but it's coming back down. The speed's not great.
That is that mistake at the top portion of the track.
Well, it's going to need another big error. The chicane is do or die for Lisa Buchwitz. She gets it clean. She's half a second up. Speed's not brilliant, but she can't give away half a second in the heart, surely.
3/10. She's going to lose, but I think she'll still be able to hang on, but it might only be a 10th.
Across the line. She is in the medals by 6.
Oh, my gosh.
Kaylee with baby Alden there. 600. It nearly went away.
I don't know if you heard that. I almost jumped out of my seat. I didn't expect it to be that close, Martin, but mistakes at the top of the track are biting people at the bottom. Wow.
Now, there was a bit of drama at the top of the track, but in the chicane as well.
Her brakeman looked like she popped up. That's what I gasped at
And she was on the brakes.
Oh, no.
She braked.
Oh,
that is disqualification.
If you look,
she's sitting up and pulling. Kira Lipperheider.
Oh, no.
Unbelievable. And Lisa doesn't know.
No.
And it was only the slightest touch, or she would have really felt the sled decelerate. But the jury will be looking at that. There's Kira with the blonde hair.
Oh, man.
That could be massive drama.
So, normally, the brakemen memorize the track.
Yeah.
But she must have just thought that they had been through. Oh, wow.
Okay, 2 to go. Let's deal with that as and when. Marco in the shorts. You can tell what the weather's like. Mind you, he does go shorts most of the time. Kim Kalicki and Leonie Fiebig, the 2023 world champions. Let's see if they've got what it takes to get the gold. They're 4 tenths away, but we've just seen a big loss of time from their teammates. So where do they go from here? 5:46 getaway keeps them in the mix.
Really nice top part of the track for Kim. Kim is one of the best drivers that I know. She just struggles a little bit at the top, but #1 fastest speed. She will continue to grow the gap over her teammate. Looking really nice right now. No critical mistakes so far at this portion of the track that's going to cost her anything.
Well, she was only 2600s ahead of Lisa Buchwitz from the first heat. She's only just recovered that. Crept out to 3200s up, but this is tidier than Lisa's run. What's the speed?
Really nice. She came half a second. That's going to continue to increase, especially here. This is where Lisa would have lost a lot of speed.
Ooh, it's a little wild down in the heart. Driving it into the lead with 1 to go.
Ducks her head across the finish line. Wow, almost put a whole second off her teammate.
Wow, 57.19. 69, 6800s faster. There's Leonie Fiebig in the back of the sled. They'll be very happy with that.
Oh yeah, that was a phenomenal run. They put everything together on that one. Really nice job.
Particularly for Leonie, she missed the first half of the season with illness and injury, so she's really glad to be back.
Yeah, and Kim misses her. I know that. Yeah. Pretty good chicane here. Barely that little tap going in. Really, really great performance from these ladies. All 3 heats for them have been spectacular. They've been extremely consistent, held it down, great pushing, great driving.
And our final sled of the regular season. The World Championships end here with Lara Nolte and Deborah Levy. 1 run for victory for the Olympic champions 2022. Never yet world champions. Is this their moment? It should be. They had 4 tenths in the bank over Kim Kalicki, but a big mistake can burn that in a heartbeat.
We'll really have to pay attention to curves 1, 2, and 3. 5:41 start, really nice for these girls. #1 fastest start here for them.
Clean out of 1. Clean out of 2. No skids.
And really nice 3. All right, Martin.
Yeah. All right, that's the first major hurdle. Cliffside, fine. Whiteface, yes, but into the Devil's Highway, only the 5th best speed.
Really clean through the highway. Very nice here going into Shady 2, halfway through the track. Really nice exit out there going into 11 and 12 in the Labyrinth.
Top speed.
Really nice exit. Wow, this run looks really nice. It looks like this is her home track.
This is the Olympic champion in action.
Incredible, the chicane. She's holding on just about to her 4 tenths. I think that's going to increase a little bit. Yeah. She will be our new champion.
4,500s up into the heart. 17, 18,
She's going to do it right here, crossing the finish line.
The new world champion for the very first time is the Olympic champion. Lara Nolte and Deborah Levy take gold. Kim Kalicki silver. And at the line, Lisa Buchwitz was the bronze medalist. We'll wait and see what happens about that braking incident, but no questioning the winners.
Wow, look at these girls. They did it. They had a great run. Wow, that is one of the best runs that we've seen. Absolutely textbook. One of the highest speeds, did everything perfect. They are ending not only as champions, but with one of the best runs we've seen so far in Lake Placid.
Their starts, first, second, second, first. Their runs, fastest, 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 fastest.
Absolutely incredible. That's what you want to see at the end of the season. They grabbed their German flags. Their parents were right behind them celebrating. I mean, overall, incredible.
They won it on the first heat. They won it on the second heat. They won it on the third heat. They won it on the last heat. They never let go of the gold medal. Lara Nolte, Deborah Levy, the 2022 Olympic champions in women's bobsleigh, are now the 2025 world champions in women's bobsleigh. She's had all sorts of troubles in St. Moritz and in Winterberg, but now she takes gold in Lake Placid.
Big congrats to them, and big congrats to all our competitors here this week. This has been an absolute incredible 2 weeks of racing for our bobsled, and it's been so enjoyable to watch.
And props as well to the officials, to the volunteers, and especially the track workers who in very mild conditions have kept the track very raceable indeed. Well done to everybody who's helped with the organisation of the World Championships here in Lake Placid. It's been a very entertaining race. Last week was bitterly cold. This week, much milder, but there you go. Happy winners, enjoying the sunshine. On the right, Lauren Alter. On the left, Deborah Levy. And there you saw her teammate Lisa Buchwitz going in to offer her congratulations.
And we're just 11 months out to the Winter Olympics for bobsled. In February of 2026 in Italy, in Cortina, is where we'll see these people next on the big stage.
Yeah.
But not to mention, this is their pre-Olympics. This is the same kind of atmosphere that they're going to experience, maybe a little bit more, but the same kind of 4-heat rhythm and pattern.
Exactly so. The only time all year they race over 4 heats where they're all joined together. Sometimes you have 2 races in different days, but it's a whole different ball game when it's 4 races and you can't afford to flinch. And it is a German podium sweep. Lauren Alter, Deborah Levy, Kim Kilicki, Leonie Fiebig on the left, on the right, Lisa Buchwitz, and in the white hat, Kira Lipperheiter. And the Secretary General of the IBSF, Heike Grosswang, handing out the little trophies. There'll be a medal ceremony down outside the mountain lodge at the end of the afternoon. And there you go, our top 3. Well, I'm sure the jury will still look at the chicane for Lisa Buchwitz, but for the moment it is a top 3 for the German team. And again, as we head into the games in 11 months from now, we know where the battle lines are going to be drawn. Heading into Milan Cortina, Lauren Alter will be the world and Olympic champion. She has a lot to defend. Well, my thanks to everybody who's joined me in the booth. Thanks to all of the TV crew with us here for IBSF TV in Lake Placid. It's been a joy to bring you a thrilling fortnight of World Championship action. Join us next year as we build up to the Olympic Games. Until then, enjoy your summer. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Bobsled, immediately following the award ceremony. So if you're watching the heat ceremony, come check that out on the Zeichen. There's also the apparel, the slick store, Fritz Bunker is playing. We've got another band that's going to play during the ladies' race. It's been a great 2 weeks. We've had a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it in the end. And we'll see you back hopefully again for the cup. After the Olympics. Grab like by the chicken tickets and save the day. Hand down, cook the more chicken fingers. Like fries, slowly takes its toast. In the secret cake sauce that is given. Imagine a range of wonderland. Imagine a place that rewards you as much as it challenges you. A place where natural outcomes.
Ja, check, check. Check, check. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Laura Nolte, Deborah Levy. Es hat funktioniert. Weltmeisterinnen im Zweierbob bestimmt hochzufrieden. Herzlichen Glückwunsch.
Dankeschön. Ja, wir sind total zufrieden. Ja, das war ja der Titel, der uns noch gefehlt hat, den wir unbedingt wollten. Und ich bin super happy, dass hier alles zusammengepasst hat. Debbie hat einen tollen Job gemacht. Alles hat gepasst und dann war es soweit.
Debbie, gestern waren Sie noch, ich will nicht sagen frustriert, aber gestern haben Sie noch gesagt, die Lisa, die packen wir uns. Heute hat es funktioniert oben am Start.
Ja, jetzt vor allem im zweiten haben wir noch mal alles gegeben mit Stadt-Westzeit. Darüber sind wir natürlich auch happy. Und ja, war einfach ein cooles Wochenende. Laura hat einen wirklich guten Job auch gemacht. Und letzter Titel, der gefehlt hat, Laura hat es auch schon gesagt. Wir haben von vorne zusammen angefangen, ganz unten im Europacup.